If you're still a teenager, you're about to go off to college, and listen carefully because these 5 things could be the most important advice that you'll ever hear. What's going on, people? My name is Akhil Nova, and in this video, we're gonna go over 5 of the biggest and most valuable lessons that I personally learned in the past 7 years. That's right, people. I turned 25 this year. I've completed a quarter of my life, and all I got for it was bills and back problems. By the way, I post new material to this channel every single week, people, so make sure you hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video. Alright, people, the absolute first piece of advice that I wish I could have told my 18-year-old self is to ignore the noise and pursue that passion. Guys, if you think you're even remotely passionate about something, then ignore your friends and family and pursue it. There were so many times throughout college where I would always pick up an interest like photography, or I remember I wanted to start a fashion blog at some point, but I would always talk myself out of it because I would let my parents tell me that it was a bad idea, or I would let my friends' judgments and criticisms get to me. But the thing is, they're not doing it. They don't believe in that passion, so of course they're gonna talk shit, but it's up to you to follow after the things that you love. Guys, consistency is key. If I'd only known that earlier, that fashion blog could have been something by now, or I could have probably landed a really cool gig through my photography skills. Confidence builds by doing. The more practice you put into it, the better you get at it, and the more confident you become in that skill or passion. The sooner you start building on that passion, the sooner you can start making money and can live off of that passion instead of having to follow the traditional 9-to-5 work life. Alright, people, the second valuable lesson that I have for you guys is to stop buying things to impress people and get your finances straight. I was so late to the game, but December 20th, 2019, I would never forget that day because I walked into Barnes & Noble's and bought this book, which completely changed my life financially. Guys, when I was 18, I was driving my parents' BMW. I was spending hundreds of dollars a week on clothes and shoes, and I just had this toxic mindset that spending more money and buying more things would make me happier and cooler, which is not true. If anything, it only made me more insecure. And the older and wiser you get, you start to realize that you want people to like you for you, not the flashy things that you own. At 25 now, my closest friends could care less if I drove a Lambo or a hoopty. Guys, after reading this book, I stopped spending money on useless shit and I cut down on my expenses. I started saving and investing. Ask any adult you know about investing, and the absolute first thing they'll tell you is that you're so lucky to still be so young. The one thing you guys have that every adult will forever be envious of is time. Time you can never get back. So start investing now so you can be financially free early in life. Alright, people, the third valuable lesson that I wish I knew at 18 is to choose your friends wisely. I remember throughout college, I always found myself hanging out with the wrong group of kids, right? Just individuals that I felt like weren't gonna push me forward in life, or always just loved to bring drama to the table. And whenever I asked for advice, people would always just say something like, "So? Just leave." But as a kid, you don't really know how to just get up and leave, right? It's a lot easier said than done. But now as an adult, I wish I could tell myself that yes, you can just leave. Remove yourself from toxic people because all they're gonna do is just bring you down, hold you back, or simply just get you in trouble. Remember this, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So choose very carefully who you hang out with because these same people will influence almost everything in your life going forward. From your motivations and ambitions all the way down to the way you dress. I would choose quality over quantity any day when it comes to picking friends because I would rather have 3 close friends than have 30 acquaintances. Invest in those 3 friends and build a deep bond with them and motivate each other to get things done. And by the way, guys, if you guys want to know exactly how to make friends and build that deep bond with them, then check out this video that I made a couple weeks ago. Alright, people, the fourth piece of advice I have for you guys is to spend more time with family. When I was in high school and even going off to college, I often neglected hanging out with my family. In fact, I always butted heads with my dad, and it all really came down to anger management and being overly prideful on my part. I was just being your typical arrogant teenager, but looking back now, I feel like shit, man, because that was almost 10 years of unnecessary fighting and resentment towards my parents, and for what? I was so consumed with partying and hanging out with friends that I didn't even go to my sister's tennis matches when she was in high school, and I didn't go to this big event that my dad won a trophy and spoke at in front of hundreds of people, and that was easily one of his most memorable moments in life, and I wasn't even there to experience it. I look at my parents now and I could physically see them getting old, and now more than ever I should take the time to speak to my parents and try to learn about how it was in India back in the day and trying to just hear more about their past. I'm actually learning so much now and it makes me realize how wise they are, your parents are a lot smarter than you think, man. Trust me, life is short and as sure as hell is unexpected sometimes. So really take this time to hang out with your family, really get to know them, and try to make sure to take more pictures too so you have more memories to hold on to. The fifth valuable lesson that I wish I could tell myself at 18 is to stop chasing after women. Guys, after ending my first relationship back in high school, all that love and confidence that I thought I had in myself completely tanked. I spent the next 5 to 6 years constantly chasing women and trying to fill that empty void by sleeping around or always trying to make sure I was talking to or dating someone. I mean, believe it or not, but it was only a year or two ago where I became content with loving myself and actually understanding what it meant to love yourself. I wasted years of chasing women thinking that finding a girl would somehow complete me and make me happy. There's actually a J. Cole line, it's off of Born Sinner, and I'll never forget it. It goes, I swear if fellas put half of what they put in chasing ass into a craft, by now you'd be famous and rich. If I spent nearly as much time into trying to perfect my craft and my passion, then I would have probably been wealthy by now. Women will flock to you when they see you focusing on yourself. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. No woman I know falls for a guy that spends more time chasing after them than actually focusing on his own career and goals. Don't ever think that you need another person to make you feel or be complete. That's just simply not true. You need to love and be content with yourself to feel complete. It took me a while to realize that one, and ironically enough, the name Akhil means whole or complete. Who would have known, right? Anyways, I hope you guys found those tips to be somewhat helpful. I know they were kind of random and like personal, but I mean, they are the most valuable lessons that I personally learned since I was 18. I mean, I'll be honest, having to figure these out the hard way on my own sucked. But that's why they're called lessons, you know, because you learn from them and you become more mature and wiser. With all that being said, my name is Akhil Nova. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.